Okay. So what is your personal best or business best for this one?
Let's start with you first, not me. It should be the second.
Okay. Mine is my personal best is maybe that currently it's I've done all my tasks and assignments, and so it's the time that I can uh, fully concentrate on doing my internship tasks, and I have more free time. So what about you, sir?
Okay, my personal best, not yet, but I think this will be the end of Ramadan, and that
Mm-hmm.
means that soon I will be able to eat every day at any time.
Oh yeah, yes, that's right.
Although, yeah, obviously, this year is so much different than previous years. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
also with you, yeah, your prayers and everything. I think it's much more limited than before. But I would say that we are still living and healthy is the most valuable thing that we have now. We need to be very grateful about it because a lot of people are now not as lucky as us at this point.
Mm-hmm.
We still have internet connection and so on. Some
Yeah.
people cannot eat, so that's the sad part. And the
Okay.
business best, I would say not my own business best, but seeing your progress is quite nice.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So the next agenda is the scorecard review. So we'll give a score
Mm-hmm.
to all the tasks. The first one is daily chat responses. How do I give score to this, sir? How do I score this?
Uh, I would say this is after you have deployed this to production, so you cannot measure this now. So you
Okay.
can use 0. It's
Okay.
also hopefully a motivation, yeah, so that you can get at least 1 in there.
Okay. And the next one is scenarios.
Okay.
So how do we score the scenarios?
Yeah, how
Oh
many
yeah,
scenarios that you have done, and what are the total scenarios?
scenarios. Is that the story, sir?
Yeah,
Or like the stories?
yeah, stories.
3, 4, 5, 6, 6 scenarios.
From 6, so you should write it like for x of 6. So how many has been done? And
X of 6.
yeah,
Oh,
so if you already done all 6, then you can say 6 of 6.
yeah, it's 6 of 6.
Okay, that's good. Next.
Accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score. So
Oh, now you have the
from the
numbers.
test.
Yeah, I would say
Okay.
that will be the average.
Oh yes, sir. I just read that you said that actually it's in the config YML file. It's supposedly to be ID.
Maybe, I'm not sure. But
I
you can
kind of
discuss.
find that
Mhm.
it's not really working actually the
Mhm.
config, but
Mhm.
I read from here. Wait, I'll give you the link.
Okay. Actually, you can discuss that later.
Oh, later. Okay. So I'll have to run my I'm testing my chatbot so I can see the score.
Okay. And you can also share the screen as well, so
Okay.
we know how to run and make the training. So there is
Actually,
Rasa,
the code
Rasa train, Rasa test,
has,
and Rasa shell, right?
yes. Okay, then this is all. These are all
Okay.
the.
I would say that there is the average one is most important at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Average, precision, recall. Okay. Okay.
Okay. What
These
is
are the
what is
score.
support? Yeah, I would say the
What
weighted
is
average is. I would say let's use
support?
the weighted average one.
I
And,
don't know what is support, sir. I haven't read about it.
okay. So we can use the weighted average one.
Okay,
Then
we'll use the weighted average one. Weighted
numbers.
accuracy is
So probably to make it
precision recall.
easier, we can
Is
just
it,
use so we can leave out accuracy then, just precision recall, F1 score, and
this
support.
one is, I think this is accuracy.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's good. So we have that too. Yeah, so we can use the
Accuracy,
numbers above.
precision, recall 0.65 and one score 0.64. Okay.
All right.
Feature time to
So it's
market.
about 65%, right? Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, at
So
least we have a baseline.
So
Much better
since
than
May
0.01.
so since May 1st, the target currently it's 21 days.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 more days. Okay. And then velocity. How do we score the velocity?
The number of GitLab commits
Oh yeah,
during
I
the first
haven't.
week.
Oh yeah, I haven't. I haven't updated the GitHub, the GitLab.
Okay,
Yeah, okay,
so
I'll update it later.
please put a to-do there so that you will not forget.
Here, this must be here actually.
I think if you set it up on the first time, then it will be easy to just like git push.
Oh, this supposed to be here. Recap to-do list.
Yeah, it should be
Or
like 8 because that will be done next for the one in agenda 5. That's like the last week's to do.
Project. Okay.
And I would say that
Velocity 0.
the throw sales BPMN should be the last week's to do, right?
Yeah, but I haven't moved it to the Camunda modeler.
Okay, no problem.
Weekly text, video, and blog. Is this the last week or?
Yeah,
Last
that
week's
would be like
test.
last week's before this meeting.
So it's 1. It's a 1
Yeah.
or 0. Okay. Okay. And then the next agenda is rock review. Is it on track or off track?
You can
So,
write on track or off track there.
Oh. Here? Oh, no, here.
Yeah, you can write it on the right side.
I hope it's on track. So I'm still positive that it's on track.
Right.
Okay. The next agenda is discussing the customer or team member headlines. That is, if there are any good or bad reports. The bad reports is that you can see from the video, I also created a video that still show that the NLU is is, how do you say it? The NLU is not trained well, maybe because I haven't modified it. So there are still some misclassification in doing the test. So that is the bad reports for the chatbot that I'm currently developing. Okay, and the good reports that, yeah, at least there's a progress. Okay.
Yep. Good progress. You can get some slots. I would say that's good.
Yeah. So should I write it here? The good and the bad reports?
Okay. Please do.
Okay. That. Okay, so sir, what is the threshold of our accuracy or precision or recall? Do we have threshold that the minimum threshold?
I would say that you, but before we continue, can you reshare the screen so that
I haven't.
because you just share the Rasa shell only.
Share the screen. Okay, so do we have any thresholds?
Okay, bad accuracy of, you can write accuracy of 65% on average, yeah. So that means that some of the intents are lower accuracy and some of the intents are actually higher. I would say that, what do you think is a good accuracy target?
I would say it's more than 90%.
More than 90%.
95, around 95. Wow. That's a good.
Yeah, that's like a 30% improvement from now. Okay, you can go to the scorecard review and then put on point 3 there. You would put the target is greater or than or equal to 95%. Just so you know that you have a target. Like the feature time to market, you have a target, right?
Yeah.
So you have a target and then you have an actual one. So you can put your target there. And scorecard review.
Okay. So the next agenda is discussing the to-do list.
You write it first. You go to scorecard review. On point
yeah,
2.
I write it.
Oh, I see. It's in the end. All right. Okay. Okay. Continue.
So the next agenda is discussing the to-do list. Okay. So I actually have drawn the BPMN, but I haven't moved it to the Camunda modeler.
Okay. So I would say that you can check that out.
Now?
Yeah, now, because you have done it, right? So
yeah,
the next part would be to discuss it.
Okay.
It's done, but we have not yet discussed it. Okay.
It's here. Okay.
Okay. But this is not the time for discussion. So we can just move to the next to-dos that you have done or not done. We can discuss it on the issues list later.
Okay. So should I check this?
Yep, you can check it.
So is there any to-do list for next week? Oh no, yeah, this is for last week.
Yeah, that's for last week.
Okay. So the next agenda is 7 days ahead calendar review. And what is this?
That will be an event of if you plan to do something in the next 7 days, but if not, then we can skip.
So we can skip this and move to the next agenda. That is to discuss the issues list.
All right. So, do you have
So
any issues that you would like to discuss other than the issues that I've put for you? Actually, these issues should be your issues, not mine.
mhm.
So I just add.
Yeah, maybe check form feature. What is form? Oh, feature. Okay, okay. Is this related to actions like that, sir?
Related to slots, actually. But let's identify the issues first.
Okay,
If
so
you want
maybe
to add,
this one.
if you want to add, do you want to add something to the issues list that you want to discuss?
I think my current issues is related to this
Okay.
about the NLU model. How can we
So,
improve the model?
okay.
So it's here
So,
already.
all right. Okay. But I think it's different, so I would add that as a separate issue.
Okay.
That's one thing. All right. So based on these issues, please reorder them from the most priority according to you to the least priority.
Okay. So this one, and then this. Okay.
All right. Okay, let's. Mm, okay. So I would say that there's actually two things, right? Okay, first one is language ID. What do you said that it's not working. So what do you mean by it's not working?
Wait, I'll show you about the language. Yeah. You said it's probably ID, not EN. Where did oh yeah, language. Hmm, Outline. Nah, so I read it from here that your two it
Mm-hmm.
starts with our two letter lang. Oh yeah, language code. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that is what. I thought it says like start with two letter from the language like Indonesia. That's why I write it again. So maybe I should write it ID. Should
Mm-hmm.
I try to
Okay,
change it now?
please try it because I'm
Oh,
curious.
oh yeah, that's why I think it's not working because like I have to define all the stories by myself, and I don't think it can understand what I'm talking about. So maybe
Okay.
that. Should we test now also, or we
Yeah,
just
if it
see
doesn't take
the
too much time, then
accuracy?
I think just a curiosity is okay.
Okay.
Because at least if there is a change, then there will be a slight change in the number, right? But if not,
Mhm.
my guess is that it should not change much because I would say that it should depend more on the word vector model, which
Mhm.
I think you are not yet using.
Mhm.
You plan to use the fast text model?
Yeah, if I can do it, I hope so. I can do it.
No, but
Okay.
uh,
But
yeah, we
if we
can
use
discuss
fast
later.
text model, so I should
The
define the model in the in Python
Hmm.
notebook.
Yeah, we'll talk later about the fast text because I see that there are significant challenges in there.
Mm,
Let's try this one first.
okay. Then, not from everything. It's about. Okay. Yeah, I think it yeah, I think it. Oh, the
But
weighted average is still the same.
okay,
Yeah, not much, not a lot
still
of
the same
change.
or exactly the same.
Yeah,
I think
I
the
think
accuracy.
exactly the same.
Okay, well,
So
no
maybe
problem.
it's not the problem.
Maybe
Yeah.
they just use it as a marker, or maybe they use it to match with the work vector model that we are not yet
Hmm.
using. But
Okay.
anyway, it's good to use the correct language code anyway.
Okay.
So I guess we can check that one for the first one,
Okay.
but then for this food for thought, this will be another. Okay, I'll make
Affects
that
has
one
pretty individual.
to this. Okay, so now about this fast text. Yeah, have you ever downloaded fast text before?
No.
Okay, so I see there are several challenges in this because yeah, first of all, the model itself is 4.2 gigabytes. So it's not a small model. It's already a pre-trained model. So you can imagine if the pre-trained model is 4.2 gigabytes. So the original text or corpus that I used to train that uh, are so much. Maybe you can download it later because
Yeah.
I'm
Unstable.
I'm worried that yeah that
Okay.
uh, it will not make the connection good. Okay,
So how do I feed it later if I have downloaded the model?
and I think
How do I feed
okay,
it to our Rasa project?
I think it's on the okay fast text usages. I think the documentation that you have before. Oh, they also have a fast text, right? Okay, so I think it's same as this part. Okay, let me using within Rasa NLU. Okay, especially,
Single story.
and I think it can also use glove, right?
Information.
Okay, so I've added some note in the Notion agenda.
Ah,
Actually, you
okay.
already opened it, right? That one, choosing a
Okay.
pipeline. However, yeah, however, there is not that one. So it says that you need to use Spacey Featurizer.
Mm-mm.
So I would say that within Spacey Featurizer, there will be another configuration option to use the model or to load the word vector from glove or fast text. Okay, but however, I would say that but this is up to you, yeah. But I would say that this is not really my priority at this point. I'm also worried that the challenge will be like slightly demotivating if you
Mm.
cannot make it work quickly. But it's up to you. If you think that's a interesting exercise to integrate fast text or glove. I don't know. Is there any glove pre-trained for Indonesian?
Glove embeddings.
Glove embeddings. But sure. Fast text is. I think there is one. Yeah, from UD. How much? 400. Okay. Okay, not sure if he provided the like the already pre-trained one. But for the fast text, it's already like a single download and that you can use. And after you get it to work, I also have some concern about the processing time that is required, because if you see 4.2 gigabytes, it's not a small model, it's a really big model.
Big model.
So, yeah. So I'm not sure how much time will it take for Rasa and LU or this Spacey featureizer to load the model and then to run this chatbot with it. Okay. So that's one concern. That's one concern. If that is too much, then we can postpone this for some time. So that's why I put that on the start of the sentence. Food for thought, not for now, and I bold the not, and I bold the not. Okay. It doesn't seem like something that you can do in like 1 or 2 hours or something.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's nice because it means that you have there is potential. There is potential. There's potential if you'd like to do like a deeper research and to use all the resources that are available. It's possible, but the effort will be higher. I would say that at this time, 65% is already a very good result. And I would say that some of the reasons is because maybe there are some features that are not yet used, like form and maybe regex and so on, that can be used.
I actually have implemented form and regex a little bit.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So
yesterday I implemented a little bit here. Yeah, but it's not really important though. But yeah, I already tried to implement the action form.
That's good. Okay, so we can go to the next issue that you want to discuss. Oh, form feature. Okay, the next one is form feature. So what do you think about this one? Can you show me the difference between using a form and not using a form? I think previously it's just
with using a form, I think we can do a lot more. Like if example we want to do some, how do you say it, like search if for regex if the input is valid or not valid and more. Like this is just like the regular Python. We can modify our slots or what we get and modify it to a certain output, for example. And here we can also, I think we can call the database from the form here later on. I don't know. I haven't.
Because that is just Python code, right? In Python,
yeah,
code
this is Python code, so it can do anything.
Yeah, that's cool. This is, I would say, this is one way that we can integrate with Camunda BPMN to do some processing. So this run method, when does it get executed?
It
After
is
user has filled everything.
executed here after the user filled after the user filled everything.
Okay.
I call the action form. But actually, this is not important. It's just me trying if the form works. But this is not the actual the priority. This is not the priority because the priority is later the database. But I have to make sure the NLU model is better before I can integrate it to database. Do you think so, sir? Or should I just try to?
Maybe or maybe not. I would say that if at least you can get because there is a happy path, right? Because there is a happy path. Happy path means that given the things that you type exactly as you want, then the system can do everything that is expected. Okay, for example, if I type a name as Angela, it doesn't give Angela, it gives Christine. Okay, so what if you type Christine instead? Okay, when I type Christine, it
gives
yeah, it gives the correct answer, it gives the correct behavior. So I would say, okay, then that's good. Okay, so you have some happy path. Okay, yeah, Rasa also says that's happy path. So happy path is that when you do it, you get 100% accuracy from start to finish. And if you already can make that happen, then that means I think that we should go to the next stage, and that will be integrating with the BPMN. And after that, the next stage will be integrating with Messenger, whichever is easier, Facebook or Instagram. And the reason is because then at that time you already achieved time to market. Okay. I would say that I'm not sure how you feel at that time, but based on my own experience, it's a nice feeling. Okay, it's a nice feeling. It's a happy feeling that that thing is out there. It's alive. Also, it's not perfect, but now when you are working on the next version, okay, you have the old version that is still working, and oh, the old version is bad, as has bad accuracy, 65%. The version I'm working now is closer to 80% accuracy, or 85, whatever, but it's still running on my laptop. Okay, later when you upload that to the server, then the server will get an upgrade. Okay, so I think that's a nice feeling that there is an old version and there is this new bleeding edge version that you are working on your laptop. Instead of just one version on your laptop and there is no, the old already running one.
Yeah.
The old already running one. So yeah, get the first version running, and then we can improve over time. So can you demonstrate this form action?
Now?
Yeah, is it already working? The form one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's checks for
Actually, yeah.
invalid email, yeah?
Yeah. Actually, it's not after all the input, after the name and the email, because it's just the form just check is the email valid or not. So
Okay.
maybe it's right. Try to input invalid email. Try my name. Try
So
for
you can
invalid email.
so you can get the Angela
Oh
working.
wait, I should run the Rasa run action first. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Oh, I see. So in this case, there are like two components of the software running.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are these two components?
One is the one is the usual the bot. One
The
is
UI,
for the
the
action
tail, yeah.
form. I think
Okay.
the action form needs this endpoints. Yeah. When we use action form, we have to activate this webhook. I
Okay.
think it calls some.
So by doing run action, so this Rasa run actions sets up a webhook on your computer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so the Rasa server is at 5005 and the actions at port localhost 5055.
Wait. Yeah.
Okay.
Should it actually be the same? No.
No. Because if there are two components, then they need to have different port
Different.
numbers.
Oh, okay. Let's try it.
I think if you try to set it to the same port, then it will fail to start.
Oh.
You can try if you want. I think it will fail to start.
Nah. It will
Okay.
say, yeah, I haven't make like, maybe it should have, maybe this step is not important, but at least I just want to try the form, if the form can work. Yeah, at least it works.
Good.
Okay. Okay. So maybe chat
Okay.
form feature, yes.
All right. But I think there are other. Do you put the forms in your domain file?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me
Oh
see
wait.
your domain file.
Wait. It's
So
here.
there should be like a forms and then
Actions. Oh yeah, just like this. But
Okay. And
I've,
how about the forms one? Because in the example there are forms and then there are actions, right?
yeah.
Do you have action? Do you have forms in that?
No.
So what I mean is, I'll try to open the Rasa
Oh
documentation
yeah.
forms on the top one, the first on the top one. Nah, that
Yeah.
one. So they have like forms or style around form. Have you tried that?
Oh
I
no.
think because it's different, yeah. There are forms and then there are actions. So this one
Oh.
is so
Oh,
based
this one is
on,
form.
yeah.
But when I call the form, it has the same. This the policy I said form policy.
Mm-hmm.
I call it the ones that I built. Here.
Mm-hmm.
Same policy.
Okay, there are form policies, but I think you currently you are just loading the policy, but you are not yet using the form
Oh.
itself.
Oh yeah.
So if you can see there, the happy path is that during the request restaurant, and then restaurant
It
form,
call.
then form name restaurant form, and then form name no. So
Yeah.
do you have
Oh yeah. I
something like
haven't.
that?
No.
Or you can
Request.
try, because it says in the documentation there is an example, right? Example
Yeah.
from bot. Have you
Oh,
tried the
here you
example?
mean?
Nah,
No.
this one. Examples from bot. So have you tried to run the form bot example?
No.
Okay, so I would say that as a to-do, try the form bot example.
Okay.
Try. Okay, you can edit yourself.
Form what?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Excuse
so
me, sir. I'll
you,
have to
okay.
pause here. No. Form what? Where can I find? Oh, here maybe. Okay. I'll try
You
this
found it?
later.
You find
Yeah.
it? Where is it? Can you show me?
Oh, I. Okay. This one. I'll try to.
Oh, from Kit, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
So I hope. Please also record the video while you are trying the form board, right? So instead of just showing your own work, I think it's nice to have a demonstration of the form board example from Rasa, because I think that
Okay.
demonstrates the features of the form structure in Rasa. I think one of the primary feature of form is that you can fill the slots that will be asked are only the slots that the bot has not yet known. Okay. For example, if the user already says like, my name is Angela and my email is blah, 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 that means the bot already knows 2 slots, right? It does not have to ask this again.
Yeah.
And maybe one thing is that previously, if the email is invalid, then somehow the bot should ask that again. I see. So I think it's a more detailed tutorial on the form, right? Okay.
I think I've seen this video in
Okay.
YouTube before learning the slots. But the I think for this video. Okay.
Yeah, I would say the form is one of the primary feature of Rasa NLU. Yeah. So I think all chatbots need to be able to accept input in a robust way, in a stable way.
We move to the next issues list.
Okay.
Okay. So the next issue.
Yeah, I would say that how to improve model accuracy, this is already done before, yeah. I think we have already discussed this on fast text, but for now, unless I try for myself, then I do not have any further suggestions. I would say that maybe use some firm switcher better.
So actually, the ones that I built, this one is using ngram. Yes, sir. I'm asking is using ngram. So maybe we can. I don't really understand about the pipelines here, actually.
Okay, well, me too.
Yeah, the features. Oh yeah, I thought.
Yeah.
So the features here, the feature, how do you say it? Feature engineering here is using we can improve the model, then it is better.
Yeah.
Like using other.
Maybe,
How about other, like word to fact, or is that other? Is there other
tweaking the pipeline
model?
Okay, so tokenizer, filterizers, and so on. Yeah. Classifier, synonym mapper, and so on. Okay, so I would say that based on their names, it seems that the pipeline contains several elements like tokenizer, filterizer, classifier, synonym mapper. And I would say that the way to understand it is to understand what each of these tokenizers and featureizers do. Okay, each one. So it's not like, okay, the whole pipeline. Of course, there is a whole pipeline, but the pipeline is just giving the input one by one through all of the things in the pipeline, right? So they say that the Rasa has a recommendation, right, for the default pipeline for non-English languages. And I would say if that works for 65%, then okay, connection is unstable. Okay. If that works for 65%, then I think that's a good start. And later on, if after after you have deployed the chatbot to the server and users can interact with the bot, or maybe some of the users, not all, then we can discuss later which one is the next priority, whether it is using the fast text. I would say that because fast text is part of the configuration of the spacey
Oh.
featureizer, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
spacey featureizer, then I think before you use fast text, then the previous step would be that you need to know what does the tokenizer do and how to diagnose it. Okay, so I would say that in order to better understand the mechanism of this pipeline, then you should be able to debug, like when user types a text, then this input goes to the tokenizer, and what is the output of the tokenizer?
Okay.
So for each step that you need to be able to know what is the input, and then gets processed by the tokenizer, and then there is output. From that output of the tokenizer, then that means it will go inside the featureizer, right? Inside the featureizer, and then the featureizer will give another output. And that output may go into another featureizer and so on. So it's maybe like it's a pipeline. Or in neural network, that will be like from input to hidden layer, but
Yeah.
not
Mm-hmm.
this is not like that, right? But yeah, it's basically from one layer of the pipeline, it goes to another layer there. So you need to be able to know exactly the inputs and outputs of um, each uh, each layer in the pipeline, and that requires to understand how to configure Rasa. So this information will be shown. I think there should be, I think there should be an option to show that information. Just like when you do the training or testing, Rasa shows you, right, the
Yeah.
accuracy, precision, recall, and so on. I think there should be an option in Rasa so that when you input a text, then Rasa gives you information. Okay, this is the input, and then the tokenizer is this one,
Mm-hmm.
featureizer is this one. There should be something like that. Otherwise, it will be very hard to diagnose a problem if it's just this is the input and this is the output of the response without knowing how the inside of the pipeline works. Okay, I would say
Okay.
that's a topic for next time, and I definitely will help you with that. Definitely will help you
Okay.
with that. So at this time, I would say it's good enough. Yeah, I would say at this time it's good enough because when you demonstrate that you can input your name, and then you can input your email, and then
Mm-hmm.
the chatbot gives okay invalid email. I would say that's really good. Yeah, it's impressive. It's impressive. Do you think that's
Okay.
impressive?
Not really.
Really? Because you are the one that doing it yourself. So when something is wrong, you focus on the wrong part. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have like maybe from my point of view, there are 7 things and 3 are not working. I focus on well, you get 7 things working. That's good. And you, man, these 3 things are not working.
Yeah.
Okay. So I hope you can see that. I feel happy when describing what you have done. Yeah. So it's not like,
Okay.
oh, we have a problem. This is very serious. Yeah, of course there are problems. But the ones that are already done is it's much better. Okay, it's much better because I don't know Rasa at all, and from you showing me, now I know. Okay, so Rasa have intents, they have actions, there are forms, form actions, and then there are featureizers, tokenizers, classifiers, synonym mapper, and it
Mm-hmm.
can integrate with other. And inside the action, you can do um, Python code custom. And previously, I thought that you will need to make your own validation and testing coding,
Mm-hmm.
and then you show me that I can just type Rasa test and gives me all the numbers that I need. Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that before, so that's
But
why.
I
Mhm.
okay.
Huh?
Yeah, but actually we have to define the test data also.
Oh,
Like
really?
here,
Can you show me the test data?
conversation test. So in the
Ah.
video, I kind of explain. Yeah, we can
Mhm.
make a difference a little bit with
Mhm.
the trained data. So we know if our
Okay.
bot can really understand the context. But when
Mhm.
I try to change it a little bit, it doesn't really understand. It
Okay.
yeah haven't completely works. So
Mm.
here, like I changed the name. Like some of them, they maybe there are some mistake in doing classification and this kind of in this
Mhm.
task
Mhm.
conversation. Yeah,
Mhm. Okay.
actually we define it ourselves. The
Mhm.
conversation task to
Mhm.
check if our bot. So the
Mhm.
like this one is the example. We expect the user to um, open the action member form and get this as email like that. So
Mm.
they check if our answer is right or wrong from our conversation task.
Okay. So these are all for the 6 stories, right? You have six
Yeah, this
stories in there.
that I
Okay.
try.
Mm. Okay. I think I can contribute to that because I would say that for one story, there will be more than one test case.
Yeah.
So this is just
Oh,
one
okay.
test case per story, right? But I can,
Yeah, one
because
test case.
there needs to be variations, right? On
Mm-hmm.
So the first story, uh, so this one is for James, and uh, so basically one story is the same steps, but
Mm-hmm.
different test case, different names, and
Yeah,
so
different
on.
names like
Mm.
different number, phone number,
I can contribute
or
that.
like
Mhm.
email saya like this. We can add
Yeah,
like this.
yeah. So it's okay. So this is very nice that Rasa also already provides testing framework, yeah. Already
Yeah,
provides
this
a
is the
testing
testing
framework.
framework. Yeah, yeah.
So does it make it easier to
Yes,
get
of
the
course.
results?
Yeah.
So mainly what's needed is a manual task, yeah, writing the
Yeah.
stories,
Mm-hmm.
writing the test
Yeah.
cases.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if we have like 10 test cases per story, then that means 60 test cases total, right?
Yeah, six test
And
case.
that will be a more accurate
Mm-hmm.
performance measure. Do
Yeah.
you think that for now you have 6 test cases? If I contribute more test cases, so we have 60 test cases. Do you think the performance will go up or go down?
Go down.
Okay, because there will be synonyms and so on that are not yet
Yeah.
processed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's okay. So, do you want more test cases or few test cases so that performance can go up?
If we cheat, just make it less test cases, but we actually want our bot to perform better.
Hmm.
So, so we actually have to know the real number. So maybe
Hmm.
add more test cases.
Yeah, I would say
Because
that.
in real life, there are
Yeah, you're right.
variations
You're right.
too.
Even our wildest test cases, when you see the real life, there will be even more wrong things that people say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, I like that mindset. If you, okay, I'm not afraid with more test cases. That's good. Just so please detach yourself from the performance measurements, yeah. Because accuracy of an algorithm does not define your worth as a human being.
Yeah, of course.
So it's not like, oh, my accuracy goes down from 65 to 55% and I'm the worst person in the world. No, it's not like that. Okay. So
Okay.
right. I would say that tweaking the pipeline. So that's testing. Okay. I would say that this will be, I can put this, add more test cases. I would assign this to myself. This should be next, yeah. So that will be my to-do for next week. Next week would be Friday, yeah. No, should not be Friday, should be Thursday. Because Friday is the meeting. Okay. Should remind myself. All right. So if I am accountable and I can hold my promise, then next week you will have more test cases to make your performance go down.
Yeah, but I haven't cleaned the code. I think I have to clean the code first so you can understand. Yeah, because it's mixed. Like there are some Indonesian language, there's some English language.
Well, it doesn't matter.
I have to
I'll
clean
have
the
to
code
this
first.
I just add more test cases, right? I don't need to
Yes.
edit the code. Just add more test cases.
Yeah, but I think in order to understand the intents and actions, what they actually do, you have, it is better if I make it more understandable.
Okay. Well, if you want, it's okay. But for me, it's not a priority. Yeah. For me, it's not a priority. Okay. So model accuracy, I would say you can check this one because at least we have an action plan.
Yeah.
And the to do will be enable diagnostics or debug options to show input and output of pipeline layers, tokenizers and featureizers and so on. I think there's only one tokenizer, yeah, but so I would say that this will be a to-do.
Yeah, of course, only one
find
tokenizer.
out how to enable tokenizer one, and the rest are featureizers. Okay. So I don't know yet how they work, but
Confacture, I think like back of just like confactures. This is.
But why there are two count factors featureizer? That's weird, right?
One is more like n-grams character. This is just me.
Because it's the same exact name. So
Yeah.
What do you how about the example from Rasa documentation? Do they put two count factor featureizer?
Yeah, I copy this. If it's not English language, they suggest this pipeline.
Okay, no problem. Okay, but actually my most important priority, I would say, is getting the maybe the preparation for BPMN integration. Yeah, I would say that increasing the performance, you can do it after the bot has been deployed to the server, because it does not. I mean, what I mean is, when you have integrated with Camunda and BPMN, and when you have integrated with Facebook or Instagram, just imagine this. Do you think you need to integrate Facebook and Instagram so many times, or just once? It's a one
Just
task.
once,
right? When you have finished integrating, then that's a finished task.
Yeah.
And another example is the integration with Camunda and BPMN, right?
Mm-hmm.
For example, when you have integrated uh, how to check the email and database, or
Mm-hmm.
how to check the user account in database, and all the integrations that you plan, do you think that's done, or you will need to do it over again in the future?
That's done
Yeah, it should be done. Yeah, it should be done unless there is a
once.
bug or technical bug or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a one-time task. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I try to prioritize it, because it's
Okay.
something that you need to do only once. It's like in
Yeah.
going to the
Mm-hmm.
kitchen, you only buy your stove once, you only buy your frying pan, wajan, and so on once, but then you cook every day. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so in this case, it's like when you deploy the chatbot for the first time, it's like you are testing your stove and your cooking the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You said you cooked, right?
Yeah.
Doing the work from home. Okay, so I hope that's a good analogy. So as long as you get your first cooking, so that means, hey, the stove works, the panci and wajan works, okay? Although the food is only 65% accuracy, gitu ya.
Yeah.
But then you have a chance for tomorrow and the next day and the next day to
Yeah.
improve your cooking. That means to improve this actual engine of conversation
Yes.
flow, maybe tweaking the featureizer,
Mm.
adding intent form, and so on. And you can do that without changing the BPMN integration or the messenger integration and so on. So I think
Okay.
with that out, making you can focus on the real NLU, yeah, the real NLU tasks
Mm-hmm.
that are more interesting than maybe
Yeah.
Cambodia or yeah, Facebook integration and so on. Okay, so I think it's done for the how to improve model accuracy. I
Yeah.
added a to-do list for you in the
Mm-hmm.
recap how to enable the diagnostics and debug options. Yeah,
Yeah.
for mine. So I hope there is that option. If not,
Okay.
then you can tell
I
me.
hope so.
You can tell me, and I will help you in this, because
Okay.
I think this it's a very important feature. It's a very
It's
important
important.
feature, and
Mm-hmm.
that must be able to get done. If you cannot know
Yeah.
what the system is thinking, then you will not be able to understand the system. So the first
Yeah.
step is to know what are the variables and values are inside the system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Next is the BPMN. But maybe one issue that I want to discuss before is that the
Mm-hmm.
update GitLab project. So I need
Yeah.
that so that I can help you later. Are you
Mm.
interested on a pair programming session maybe in the next few days or something? So it will not be a meeting. It's more like a co-working. So we are working together to solve a problem at the same time. It's not recording. It's not recorded, and you're also free to use Indonesian or whatever. Just
Yeah.
it's done. So do you think
Maybe
that would
next
be
week, around next week.
okay? So to do that, then that means I need to be able to check out your project on GitLab and test it for
Yeah.
myself. And after I get
Yeah.
to know it a little bit better, then we can collaborate more technically. Yeah? Collaborate from more for technically. Because up
Okay.
to now, I am just like only talking, yeah, only talking, but
Mm-hmm.
you're not doing, sir. Talk is
Okay.
easy. Okay, let's go with the BPMN diagram.
Mm-hmm.
So can you explain about this? What do you think it should do? So you make three
Mm,
diagrams, or
there's still one.
okay, just one. Okay, so can you explain
So
how it should work in your
this is I
perspective? Yeah.
think this is, yeah. This is, there are two scenarios, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the first one, and the second one later will connect to this one actually.
Okay.
The second scenario that I built. So this one, this scenario is at first the user will grade,
Mm-hmm.
and then the bot will ask if they have registered on their account.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the user will answer,
Okay.
and then the bot will get the answer.
Mm-hmm.
And if the user haven't registered an account, so the
Mm-hmm.
bot will give a link to register
Okay.
for account.
Mm-hmm.
And then else, if user already have registered, then the bot will actually here the bot will get their name, email, and phone number. Actually,
Okay.
yeah, this is what I'm asking you. So should I make, how do you say, is it a gate like this for the user?
Yeah, I
Because
would
if
say.
the use
Mm-hmm. Because
because
what?
if the user have
Mm-hmm.
registered, they
Mm-hmm.
should give their name, email, and phone number, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
So
true.
actually, the user should have activity here, right? Like,
Oh, yeah. Although that is not.
should I make should
Okay. How do I explain this? So basically, there are things that are called messages. Okay, things that are called messages. There is a BPMN concept called processes or
mm-hmm,
process instances. Yeah, process instances
mm-hmm,
and messages. So basically, what BPM engine like Camunda does is tracking a process instance. So a process
mm-hmm,
instance like a flow of a process in time. So in this case, when the user starts interacting with the bot, then there will be one process instance in that.
mm,
And during that process instance, the user will be able to move from one step to another. However, user moving from one step to another can be because of the BPM engine. They are interacting
mm-hmm,
directly with Camunda, or they're actually interacting with an external service. In
mm-hmm,
this case, the external service is uh, Rasa or the Facebook or Instagram chat,
Instagram Messenger.
Instagram channel that we are integrating with.
Mm-hmm,
And another is the microservice, yeah, because there will be like a microservice or worker server component. So later on, I will show you how to think about this from a system perspective. So
mm-hmm,
PPMN is not just from the user perspective, but it's also from the system perspective. And from the
mm-hmm,
system perspective, there are things sending messages to each other. For example,
mm-hmm,
the Rasa NLU or the Rasa chatbot, when it receives a message from the user, for example, user says, "Ya, saya sudah registrasi," and that means Rasa needs to send a message to Camunda. Okay,
mm-hmm,
needs to let Camunda know that okay, this user has registered. So because Rasa chatbot has state, right? It has data, it has variables in Rasa's memory, but Camunda also has a memory. So we need to be able to
mm-hmm,
synchronize. It's more like, for example, you are a chat, uh, you are a customer support staff,
mm-hmm,
and I am your mandor, yeah. I am your mandor, and I have maybe like 10 customer support staff. So each customer support staff, they are they are conversing with the customers. And maybe during before break at lunch, I ask all of the staff, okay,
mm-hmm,
how many customers are you serving today? What are the most problematic users? And how many users have registered and how many have not? Who are these users? So that means me as the manager or mandor needs to know what the customer support staff are doing. Now, in this case, it's not a human manager, but it's like a software mandor. And the software mandor is Camunda. And the
yeah,
chatbot becomes
mm-hmm,
customer support staff that needs to be able to communicate the state of the conversation with the BPM. Okay, so that's how it works in theory, yeah? But how it works in practice, there will be blocks in there that says like Rasa NLU sends message. Okay, Rasa NLU send receives message, and so on. And then there will be blocks like registration receive. Okay. For example, I will give you an example. Link registrasi terhadap user ya, and then user telah mendaftar. Okay, user telah mendaftar is actually an event that we can track. Okay, it's actually an event that we can track. I think in this example, it's hard to make that integration, but let's see. Let's imagine another more advanced chatbot. This chatbot asks for the user's name first, and this chatbot asks for the user's email, even before knowing that the user has registered. Or this chatbot asks for the user's phone number, okay? Even without knowing whether the user has registered. Now, after doing that, and then the chatbot asks the user to register. Now, what happens when the user actually registers? Then the system will add the user to the database, right? And that means in the database, there is this user with a phone number or email. Now, actually, the registration system can send the message to Camunda that this user has registered, some user, any user. And Camunda can actually send that message to a chatbot, okay, to Rasa NLU, that, okay, this user with this email has registered. And that means at that time, the chatbot can tell the user that, oh iya, terima kasih ya Kak sudah mendaftar. Kakak, misalnya tadi Kak Angela sudah mendaftar ya dengan ini. So that means the chatbot is not only reacting from the user's what the user say, but the chatbot can also react based on what the system does. So the system is like another input to the chatbot. Okay, I think I get too much theoretical, yeah. Sorry about that. So I would say that at this point, this is already a good diagram, and my to-do would be, let's move this to Camunda. So next week we can edit this for real, and hopefully to test some features of Camunda. Okay, step by step, step by step. I think the easiest one to check is I think the easiest one to check is the email part. Yeah, it's like check whether the user has a name, phone, and email that matches the database. I would say that's the first one. This maybe not next week, but check name, email, phone in database using Camunda worker. Okay, this may be next week after next week, but just to know that yeah, this is simplest integration. Actually, it's not simple, but yeah, I would say it's a simplest one that is useful. Simplest one that is useful in this case. All right. So I would say that the drawing is very good. Gives a good overview of the BPMN process, but we will refine later after you have done the Camunda modeler thing. And make sure to also, oh yeah, put in GitLab. So you put the BPMN file in the same GitLab repository. So when you edit it and you commit push to GitLab, you have it updated at the same time. All right.
Okay. Okay. Is that all, sir?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is very nice. I'm
Okay.
I'm actually very eager to test your chatbot. Yeah, although I have several more meetings today, but I think after my last meeting at 22 p.m., I I want to check your project.
Okay. Okay, so that's for discussing the issues, and the next agenda is to recap the to-do list. So what I have to do is first to update the GitLab project and
Yeah,
also
that
try
will be
form,
today.
yeah, and try to form both example and find out how to enable diagnostics or debug options for pipeline,
Mhm.
move BPMN to
Yeah.
Community Modeler, and also put it in GitLab. And
Mhm.
for the next week, next week
Mhm.
or next time, maybe try the simplest BPM integration. And for
Mhm.
user at more test cases. Okay,
Yeah. Okay, I will.
so
So
it's all
hopefully
for the
tonight,
to-do
yeah.
list.
Hopefully tonight
Yeah.
when I get the GitHub project, I will try to update. And I really hope that I think the most important task, not most important, every task is important. The enable
Mhm.
diagnostic debug options.
Yeah.
I think if you can't get that work, then I
Understand.
think
Yeah.
you will feel more calm, yeah, because you know,
I think so.
yeah, how it works. If because if something is error or not working and you don't know why, that's
Hmm.
really not a good feeling. But if it's not working, but the numbers are there in front of you, you feel like you have more control.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all for today's meeting, and now we'll give a rating to the
Mhm.
meeting. My rating towards the meeting today is 8 or 9, maybe, because it's faster than the usual time.
Okay.
What about you, sir?
Yeah, I will give a 8. That is good.
Okay. Okay. That's all for today's meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for attending the meeting, sir, and thank you for helping me understand better and diagnose what the problem.